Okay, so I missed a week of doing this, so it's actually going to be 2 weeks. So this one will probably be quite a bit longer than the other two because it's the equivalent of 2 weeks, not one. So, first of all, I had my meeting with the actors and I got them all sorted. I had 3 actors and was using my brother for the creature, um, as he was the easiest to fit a costume to regularly without needing to look at other people's schedules and match things up. Um, when I met my actors, I got pictures of them. I told them what they would be doing, how it would work, told them about the fact that I couldn't pay them, just to make sure that they did actually want to be in the film. They all said yes, and then I worked out a timetable with them to be filming, and it all looked to be working. And then the day before, literally like 7 o'clock at night, one of the actors cancelled, and I had to find a way to work around that. So I did, and I found a younger person to play one of the characters, but all I had to do was then change one of the characters to instead be somebody else's younger sibling, which meant I reworded the script and made it so everything made more sense. Whilst doing this, I also made some of the dialogue seem more natural because I figured out parts of it didn't work properly. So it was a good thing in the end. When filming, uh, it did. There was a bit of on and off rain, except it was like 3 drops of rain every like 30 minutes or so. So I wasn't too worried about it, but we had an umbrella and we had coats to put over equipment just in case it did start raining, and we were covered by trees so we wouldn't be getting too wet. I had snacks for the actors because we ended up filming for about 4 hours, so I wanted to make sure that nobody got too hungry. During filming, nothing went too wrong initially. There was some bumps in getting the actors to understand what I wanted them to do in the beginning, but then they started figuring out what I meant in terms of what I was saying, and it all worked out in the end. There was some problems with lighting, but I worked that out with a lamp because I hadn't booked out any lights because I couldn't carry them here, and that would have been a problem. So I worked with a lamp. Luckily, the lighting in the forest was good enough, like it was perfect, and since it was a cloudy day, I didn't need an ND filter because there wasn't any to book out. When we started filming the last scene, which was only one character, but it was an actor I could not book again, the camera died, so we only had the rehearsal shot. Because I like to. What I was doing was I was doing a shot of what it was going to look like with the actors, and they just got to try and see. They just got to try their lines, work it out, and then I would show them the shot, and they could tell me if they didn't like it. Because if I show it to an actor and they look at it and go, "That's a horrible shot," I can probably guarantee it's not going to look good in the film. So that's how I was doing it. So I did the rehearsal shot, and the camera instantly died. So I had no other shots. I could not book this actor again, but I knew that I could just deal with it. And that was all of my filming done, except for the shots I needed with the prop that I was making. That I was making goat shoes, which ended up going quite well, except for the fact that they broke in the end. So I have fixed that because the glue we used wasn't strong enough. So I used a different type of glue, and they will hold together for as long as I need them to film. But they may break again, but it's an easy fix this time. So those are, and the shots of the flashback, like where they're telling the story. I haven't done that yet. It's all going to be stop motion, and I'm getting my mum to help me with that as she has done similar things before. That will be all of the filming done after I've done that though. Next, well, I made the goat hooves. They broke, and then I fixed them, and now they are holding together with hot glue. and I've checked that they fit the actor and that he is comfortable wearing them, and he is. So now we just need to film the shot. During editing, because I've done the editing for most of the shots I've already taken, there was a bump with the rehearsal shot where I realised the script was up on the computer and you could clearly see it, but Paddy helped me to fix that in editing, which was good. And it doesn't look perfect, but it looks as good as I'm going to be able to get it, since I can't reshoot that shot. Other than that, the editing went okay. There was a shot that when I asked Paddy to have a look at it, he said that it would have been better if the final shot was extended. But I couldn't do that on the version of DaVinci I was using, so I sent it to him, and he's going to make it longer, I think. Then I color graded all the shots, because the shots in the house were a bit weird, because the only form of lights in one of the rooms is those kitchen lights where there's a row of like 6 of them, and 3 of them turn on with one light and the other one turns on the other ones, except none of the light bulbs are the same. So there's daylight ones and indoor ones, and none of them are the same, so the lighting looks really weird, but I could fix it in editing, so it worked out fine. And the lighting in the forest was pretty good, but I made them all a bit darker because I wanted to film them at like perfect what you would just want for a sunny day in the forest, so that I could lighten them and darken them without it affecting everything too much, because if I filmed it too dark I couldn't lighten it properly, otherwise it would look weird. Obviously the camera batteries ran out. We had 2 whole batteries and they lasted a day, but that's fine. It turned out fine. All of the shots except for the one at the end where I needed to edit it a bit turned out great, and I couldn't reshoot anyway, so it didn't matter. I have been thinking about the title sequence and how that's gonna go, because I want to have an interesting, like, it intrigues you about what the film's going to be like. So I'm going to do some research into that. My mum recommended the one for Bedknobs and Broomsticks, which is apparently like 10 minutes long, and I wanted to look at some ones for like traditional horror movies, how they start, because I don't just want a title. I want starting credits, I want the creepy shots, I want it to be kind of like the opening of Scooby-Doo, where they show you stuff does happen and it keeps you intrigued into what will happen. But I haven't done much research into that yet, so still got to do that. And then I'm going to look into what I want to do for the ending credits, because I can't just have plain credits. They've got to I haven't figured out if I want to have them over the top of a shot or just have credits on like a black background, because that might work better to just have plain credits. I think it fits the style of the movie, but I'm gonna do research into like what type of credits you should have in films, and what other films use, because I know there's some great ones that I love, like the ending of, in the Muppets movie, they have the characters pulling the credits up, and then they try and make a machine to do it itself, and it ends up shooting all the way to the bottom of the credits, and they have to restart them. So there are funny ways to do credits to make them more interesting, or like have a scene after the credits like Marvel do, but I don't think that suits the style of movie I'm doing, so I'm not going to do that, I don't think. But I'll look more into it. I'll ask people's opinions on what they think I should do for the credits. Because if it's too boring, it'll just be like, credits. Oh, also, my actors, I told them I could make them a poster if they wanted, which they said wouldn't be too bad, but they weren't like particularly interested in it. But what they do want is a blooper reel, which won't be on my actual website. It will just be going up on my YouTube, and I will be sending it to the actors, and that is all it's for. It is not for my website. It will not be shown to anybody other than the actors, really, because they just wanted to have it, because we had some pretty funny moments whilst filming. Because of the unexpected change in character, they hadn't rehearsed together before, and they hadn't talked over the script. They didn't really know each other very well, so there was some stop and start moments in the filming, but it's fine. They all ended up enjoying it in the end, because I wanted to make it a fun environment where they weren't afraid to tell me that they didn't know what they were doing, because that would just lead to mistakes in the filming, and it would be my fault because I hadn't made them feel welcome to tell me that they didn't understand what I was talking about, which gladly, when people didn't know what they were doing, they would tell me they didn't know what they were doing, and I would then help them further understand what they wanted, like where I wanted them to be. For example, I was talking to the actor who was playing the monster, and he didn't understand how he was supposed to walk past the window at all. He did not get it, how to walk like a normal human being, because he's not an actor. He was there out of convenience, really. But he was then trying to act out walking, which once you are acting something out, you're not doing it naturally anymore. But after I had a conversation with him, we worked it out, and he mostly got the hang of it. A similar thing happened whilst I was filming audio, because I wanted it to be so that one of the characters was breathing in the background. So I got the character playing the younger sibling, who is the one that we see noticing everything going wrong. And I told her, can you breathe into the microphone? So she then started trying to act out breathing, which doesn't work well as natural breathing. So I ended up doing that in the end, because she told me that she thought she was like incapable of it. She could not do it because she was thinking too much about the fact that she was breathing into a microphone. So I ended up having to use my own breathing for that. I'm missing something. What am I missing? Some points in the movie, like there's a scene where we see an apple get thrown from behind the camera, which is supposed to symbolize how nothing is correct in this. It's like it's a stylistic choice. It's not out of just, oh, let's have an apple appear behind the screen. No, it's for the purpose of showing people that these teenagers are ignoring things they shouldn't be. That apple shouldn't be there. There is no possible way we know of for the apple to have been thrown from there. But when I looked over the footage, you couldn't really tell it was an apple. It just looked like something got thrown at her. But I don't think it really affects the storyline too much, so I didn't try and reshoot that. And there's another point where one of the character leaves the house after she's gotten her apple, and her sibling follows her out with a slice of toast. Except the toast, she was supposed to be eating it the whole movie. We were supposed to be like, she shouldn't have toast that long. There's like no logical explanation for how she's had the toast that long unless she isn't eating it. But then she would be eating cold toast. So it makes no sense to people, and it makes them think about the fact that there's stuff going on in this movie that shouldn't be possible. So that gives her like an idea. That gives us like an idea to look deeper into everything. So if we were to like watch it again, we would focus on the finer details. Like, where's the apple coming from? Why is she continuously eating toast? Slight changes in their appearances. What time of day is it at these certain moments? It makes us think deeper into things and see the meaning behind them. And I wanted to show people that these kids are ignoring things. Like, it's not just this one thing they're ignoring things. like that book. There's a book I think by Dr. Zeus or somebody similar called Wacky Wednesday, and it's like you've got to spot an increasing number of things that don't make sense in the pictures. And you would think it'd be really obvious because there's like a kid missing an arm or somebody's got 3 eyes. But it's actually quite complicated because you're not actively looking for these things, you're just looking for things that you think are weird. So you're not actively looking for a certain thing. You're just looking everywhere. So you tend to miss things right until the end, like when you've checked over the pages over and over and over again, looking for something weird, but you don't know what the weird thing is, so you haven't caught onto it yet. I wanted a similar effect in my movie, like there are weird things going on, but you're not really focusing on them because they don't seem to be the focus. Like confusing and that sort of thing. But yeah, that's mostly everything I've done, I think. I'm just gonna check my blog, see. I didn't have any crew on set, because with where I live, there's like nobody. I couldn't ask the people in my course because then they would have to travel like an hour and a half to get here and then just film for an afternoon and then go home, and they would have to pay for trains or buses, and I didn't want to make them do that. So I had no crew, that was just me. But obviously I couldn't hold a boom mic and a camera, so there are some scenes where they're sitting in a wide shot where the boom mic is behind the characters on the ground and like leaning against their arms. But other scenes where they're closer to the camera, obviously I couldn't do that because it would be too noticeable. Like you would see the boom mic. I had the person playing the monster holding up the mic because they were only in the scenes for the wide shots, which already had the microphone placed somewhere. So technically he was my crew, but I don't think he really counts, as I basically was placing him like a mic stand. I had to guide him everywhere he went, which led to some interesting compromises. I had to figure out how to get a boom mic on camera without seeing it on camera, because it's actively in the frame in some parts. You can see parts of it, but you don't. But it's like it kind of fits in with everything they've got around them. One of the shots I took, a close-up, slightly soft, but it works with the film, so it's fine, because it's right at the end. And the shot I took of the broken glasses, perfection. Never loved anything more. It was, it's not soft at all. It's soft like in the background, but the glasses are in focus. That's the only thing I wanted in focus. The glasses broken on the rock. It was a bit short, and obviously since it was so low down, I couldn't use a tripod, which led to some shakiness, but I stabilized it and I cut it to be only the part that was not shaky, so it all turned out fine. Yeah, other than that, not much else. My film is turning out great. Oh, well, it's not great, but it's like, it's what I expected. It's not amazing, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's okay. It might get better with time and with editing, and I think once I've got a title sequence, because now it starts kind of abruptly, like just bang, starts, which I don't want. I want it to be more like sliding, what's it called? I don't remember. But yeah, I don't want it to just be bang, start the film. I want it to actually start with a title sequence, slowly go into the film. Like, I think I want the talking to start before the video does. But I'm not sure about that yet. So,